it's a big cast, when you first start out. There's a lot of people, and when it cuts down pretty quickly as soon as those first 5 episodes come out. The next week, it's so focused on the couples that do get engaged, so we don't really get to meet everyone that signs up for the show. Did you get to talk to everyone? Like, how? Because it just feels like, I guess, that process, it seems so intense to us even just watching, and then you think there's actually, however many more men there was for you to actually talk to.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. On that first day, I talked to all 15 men. So, of course, I didn't know them like I do the girls, because in the girls' lounge, you're obviously talking to everyone.
Right.
So I would say I'm very, very close to the girls, of course. But yeah, after the first couple of days, it kind of dwindles down into like your top 10 and then like your top 5. And then it's just like your top 3 and then you're number 1. So yeah, in the pods, like I had a lot of time with Shake. Like, during the day we would have like an hour and a half dates, and then nighttime dates were like 3 hours. So I think like in totality, we probably spent like 40, 50 hours together just talking.
That's
so it's
so much time.
Yeah, that is so much
That is
talking.
so much
And I
time.
think when you watch the show, obviously you know how much time you guys spend talking to a certain extent, but there's only an hour-long episode, so you see like a little bit of each, and then you're like, how can these people be walking down the aisle? They barely even know each other. But I guess when you're talking for that period of time, you got to get to know each other a little bit. And obviously you did do that with Shake, and you got engaged and you walked down the aisle, but you didn't end up saying yes. From what point did you know that you weren't going to say yes?
Yeah, I mean, Shake has been pretty upfront with me, and you don't see my side of it either. And I kind of also backed off in Mexico because I could see something had changed in him. And I don't mind, or I don't care that he wasn't like physically attracted to me. But I think like closer to the end, when we're getting closer to the weddings, we had a couple intimate dates, like you see the massage date and things like that. And at that point, I was just like, why are we forcing something that's not there? Like, I shouldn't have to make him see me. And it's okay if you're not physically attracted to me. If that's a problem and we have a chemistry issue, it is what it is, right? So I think my mindset started to change, and I started to think to myself, like, is this somebody I even want? Or is this, why am I putting the ball in his court? So, my mindset kind of shifted, and I was like, you know what? He should know. If he knows, he knows. So obviously I can't say yes. How could I?
Yeah, and I feel like watching the show from the outside looking in, you guys kept talking about how your emotional connection is so strong and you want to marry your best friend, and you obviously, because at the end of the day, if you guys grow old together, like the physical can go away and it's the emotional that matters. But then you think about it and you're like, well, the physical does matter too. Like you can't be with somebody and just not be at the very beginning physically attracted at all, because then that chemistry is just not there, and it is more like friends than being husband and wife.
Right, exactly. You might as well just be friends then, right? Yeah.
Right. So how did you feel at that point then? Because one of the most interesting parts of the show to me too is that everybody really does have to get their friends and or family involved, right? There is a wedding, there's a wedding day, and there's guests, and there's friends and family and all these people here. They're your wedding dress shopping, you're doing all these things. How was that process for you, and how did you kind of explain to your family what was going on, and how did they receive that?
Yeah, it was really tough because these are all these like first moments, right? Even getting engaged, picking out your wedding dress, walking down the aisle with my dad. And yeah, it's really tough. It was tough going through it because I knew what my decision was going to be. Maybe I did hold out on like a little tiny bit of hope that like maybe on that day, like something would change. I don't know, like because the thought of losing someone, sometimes makes you realize you don't want to lose them. But yeah, if I didn't have such a supportive family and friend group, I don't think I would have been able to make it through that day. But yeah, it was really bittersweet. But at the end of the day, I built a friendship with Shake, and that's what I wanted to celebrate. It was our unique love story, even though it's just a friendship. We had love for each other.
But did his when you watched the show back and saw what he was saying when you weren't around, did that change your feelings about him?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we tried to be friends after filming had wrapped, but I just had to distance myself because, I kind of saw more of how he was on social media, and he had some issues with some of the other castmates as well. And, it was just kind of draining, energy draining. So I just kind of distanced myself. And then watching it over again was really hard. It was really hard for me to watch because to my face, he did say, he's not physically attracted to me, but the way he said it to behind my back was what was hurtful. Yeah. And for my family to have watched that was, I think, the toughest part.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you were relieved after, the reunion and watching it all back that you obviously did not go through with it, because I feel like everyone's opinion on him is like, all right, well, he's not the best guy for you or really anyone in general.
Yeah, that's so sad to hear. But yeah, honestly, if I was married to him, I'd probably be filing for divorce because that's would have been my husband. How could I go through life knowing that that's how he felt about me the whole time?
Yeah, I actually thought that Ayana said it I think it was Ayana who said it so well in the reunion. She was like, and it really did feel like it came from a good place of her saying, I really think therapy for you specifically on how a narcissist can have a relationship or date in a relationship would be super helpful. And I honestly thought that was the most constructive criticism he got the whole time, because there were a lot of moments, whether it was interrupting people or giving his opinion on other couples that nobody asked for, that just obviously unraveled. And you said, you're very close with these girls and the friendships that you've created. I guess I'm just have a question timeline wise. When did you go through the pods and when did you guys reunite for the reunion?
So filming had wrapped, my wedding day was June 10th.
Okay.
And filming or reunion just happened about 2-3 weeks ago.
Okay. So it's been months, a lot of months.
Yeah. And did those feelings come back when you saw everyone again for the reunion? Have you seen Shake since then? What was your thought showing up to the reunion?
Yeah, so I've run into Shake here and there. We don't really hang out that much, but aside from a group setting sometimes. But yeah, no feelings came back. Honestly, I just wanted to give him also constructive criticism. I just wanted to let him know that watching it back from my perspective, it hurt me and my family. But I wish him the best. I mean, from afar, I wish him the best. But yeah, I really do hope he can watch this and learn how to speak to women and just, be better. And if he needs to get help and understanding that, that's what I wish for him.
Yeah.
But I just want him to see my perspective on why I was hurt.
Yeah. Even just on maybe the social media stuff, it is hard. I think it was even just this morning he called Nick Lachey a massive twat in an Instagram caption.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately, I don't know if he's gonna learn.
It feels like there's not quite a filter on social media.
Exactly. Yeah. And I know that hurt people.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I honestly don't know what's going on in his head.